Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome back to another episode of Transplant Talk with Shonda. I am the hostess with the mostest, Shonda Larimore, and I am just delighted that you have come and to watch this show today. I am telling you, I am super excited. I was nervous. I got nervous all of a sudden this about this episode because it is so real. And I like to do real talk on Transplant Talk with Shonda. I like to keep it all the way real in this community. Everything isn't always, coming up roses. There are not a lot of rainbows. All right. And so I am definitely excited to have this couple to share their story, to share their heart, to share their journey of triumph, of in their relationship of restoration. Okay, because God definitely has restored this couple. I can't believe that I have so many wonderful guests willing to share their journey and story with me. And for that, I'm eternally grateful that they will trust me with something so personal and something so private, something personal and private. And thank you all so much again for tuning in. Okay, I have a request for tonight. My request for tonight is for me to get 25 new subscribers to my YouTube channel and on Facebook. So if you would, you can find us on Transplant Talk with Shonda on YouTube. Leave a comment, ring that bell so that you're able to receive the notifications when we come on. And lately, we've been here on every Thursday. So if you join us Thursday at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook, Save 1,000 Lives, and I also have it on my Facebook page, I would greatly appreciate it. And so for everyone that is new to this show, I would love to explain why we have Transplant Talk with Shonda and how it came to be. All right. Unfortunately, I lost my late husband, Leonard Wayne Larimore, who passed away by waiting. He was waiting for a heart and a kidney. And unfortunately, he lost his life waiting for that special gift. And within that special time that we had together, we would absolutely go out and, talk to people, or I still talk to people about becoming an organ donor. I had a very special moment yesterday with a student that said, because I shared with them what I do, and he said, you know what, Ms. Larimore, I'm going to become an organ donor just because you explained, what you're doing. I did not ask him. I never asked the students to take that step without them having a conversation with their parent, because I don't feel that that's my call. But I'm so grateful that he said, I'm going to go do that, Ms. Larimore. I really am. So you see how the young people are just so much more open, because they understand that when you pass away, you can do nothing with your organs. They're not going in the ground with you. So I wanted to explain that. And again, please, my goal today is to get 25 new subscribers. Hello, 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 Lisa and Steve and Milani. Hello. I'm just trying to get everyone, registered as an organ donor. And let me please share this with you. If you want to become an organ donor, if you go to donatelifeflorida.org, this is what you have to do. Fill out the application. And once you get to the end, it said, how did you learn about Florida's donor registry? You click other, and then you specify save 1,000 lives. Okay. And why is 25 important to me? Because my husband passed away on April 25th. So everything with 25 is going to be. All right. So YouTubers, 25 more people to register to become an organ donor, or you can go to Donate Life America and register me as well. And you could do that. All right. So I've come to inform you. I've come to educate you and bring awareness to the need of organ donation. And over 100,000 people in this country is waiting for the gift of life. So I thank you. Please do me a favor and share. I would love for you to share this one. This episode is going to save somebody's life, save someone's marriage. I promise you, we are going to talk for real about life in the transplant community world. So this special couple, the Robbins, Malcolm and Jackie, they were on the telethon that we did on August 29th. And for them to still want to come back and give back, that is amazing. So this is absolutely part 2. This is part 2. Now, will we have a part 3? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. And it might be so good that we might have to. All right. So without any further ado, first of all, they are in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska. Now I'm down here, little Florida girl, and they found me in Florida on Facebook, and they said, listen, we got to tell our story. We have got to tell this story. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I hope my parents are watching. Hey, mom. Hey, dad. And my family, I hope everybody is watching, because we are going to get absolutely personal with the Robbins. So without any further ado, I have my guest tonight, Malcolm, and his beautiful wife, Jackie.
Hey,
welcome. Thank you.
Hi, hello. I'm so glad again. I'm so glad to have you all back. So welcome back to part 2. Yeah, Lisa, I told you she's absolutely beautiful. You always got to have a beautiful woman by your side, and she's just absolutely beautiful. She is another she-ro. So I want you all to know, some men are lucky to have a ride wife, and that who is Jackie. That is this lady right here. Because all men know that we are the ones. We your neck. You're the head, but we your neck. And you can't do anything without the neck. Okay? So family. I'm gonna just call y'all family because this is our second time and we've talked, before. And I want you to just give us a little bit of background, because I know you did it on the telethon. So just give us a little background of how, just do this first. What was life like before finding out that you had congestive heart failure, Malcolm?
For me?
Before congestive heart failure.
Before the congestive heart failure, we was living our life. We was doing the most. We was in Maui. We was flying around different, living a life.
Okay.
And my aunt Marsha, she's not alive anymore, but she kept calling me. I would not answer her phone call. Nothing is wrong with me, Aunt Marsha. There's nothing. She told me, Malcolm, you gotta go get your heart checked. Something's wrong. I'm like, Marsha, I'm living my life. I'm in Maui right now, so I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, I'm coming down there to see you. Coming to see me? This is my Aunt Marsha. And she came to Rib Shack. She came to the Rib Shack. She pulled up in her RV. She had an RV. My Aunt Marsha, you hear me? She's older. She came to the restaurant, walked in the store, and asked one of the cashiers for Malcolm to come out front of the counter. And ever since that time, I had heart trouble. I mean, not that she was the first person to bring it to my attention that I need to go get addressed and deal with a doctor about my situation. He was the first person to bring it to me with my Aunt Marsha. And when she told me, I didn't believe it, but we went to the doctor. Me and my wife, she set up an appointment. We went out there and we seen, and this time we went to Missouri Baptist Hospital. I thought it was one of the best hospitals in the world. I thought it was. But what did they end up telling us out there? We went out there.
Yeah, like really.
We went out there twice. In fact, the first time out there we went out there, they told me I had an aortic root problem. They repaired that and fixed that. I got the best doctor to repair that. They were known for that at that time. And And then we did that, and that kind of threw us off a little bit.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you doing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what are you doing? Yes. Then they told us I have an aortic root problem. They went in, they repaired that, fixed that. I thought I was back to life. I thought I was going back to normal.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What intuition did your aunt have? Is there some family history of congestive heart failure?
In our family, all her dad and my dad died at a young age, 39, 40 years old. He died.
Okay.
And then all of my family have a aortic root issue. All of them. I mean, on both sides of our family, I have an aortic root problem on the left side, and then on my father's side, we have on my mom's side, we have a cardiomyopathy.
Myopathy.
Cardiomyopathy. And that's on my mom's side, 15 people that died. 15.
Oh, wow.
They all died from heart issue.
At a young age?
At a young age. Everybody in that page is, I know they're less than 50 years old. None of them made it to 50. I need to research how old they were, but none of them. I think
none of them made it.
I think my uncle Whoops made it to 39. Everybody else on the whole page is gone.
Okay, so let me just say this to the audience. This is why it's so very important to be aware of your history, of your family history. Gentlemen, the children, like everyone needs to know exactly where. And this information that he's sharing right now, it is essential that you definitely get checked out if this runs in your family. So please be wise enough to say, well, let me find out. Let me see my family tree and, what I need to do to protect myself and then my children and future grandchildren. So thank you, Malcolm, for being obedient and listening to your aunt. Now, is that what she passed away from as well?
She had a heart problem as well. She ended up going to get her checked, and when they did the right catheterization, and when they took the tube in, her heart split on the table.
Yeah. And that's when she passed away?
Right there on the table. Yep, getting checked out.
Oh my God. Okay, so now I know you have had numerous surgeries.
Oh my goodness.
And you've had a number of things that you've had to grapple with during this time. So in 2011, you find out you have congestive heart failure. And then from 2012, when did you get the LVAD?
In what year was February 3rd? February 3rd, what year was it? February 3rd. I remember that date because of the doctor.
2014.
Yeah, February 3rd.
That was the first one he got.
The very first one.
Okay, so I don't know, and I know I've had people that's been on the show before that has had, the left ventricular assistance device. I know, but you had to have it twice.
I had the first one. It's really my fault. Actually, it's my fault because
okay.
I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do as far as taking the medication. I wasn't doing my wife come home and eat right and do this right. I'm still out drinking, still out trying to run the streets a little bit. After I got the LVAD, I felt like I had life. I felt like I can go back and live my life now. I'm thinking it's over with. I got it repaired. It's done. It's fixed. Go live your life. Start drinking, doing whatever I wanted to do, and it's the wrong thing to do.
With the LVAD.
With the LVAD, I started doing too much. And
okay, so I know you're a nurse. I know the healthcare professionals had to be worried about that part.
Well, as a patient, you how to control yourself when you're meeting doctors.
Right. Oh, okay. So you put on the mask while you were in front of the doctors.
Exactly.
Now hold on. Let me ask the queen that's sitting next to you.
Yeah.
Jackie, I know how I was when I had to deal with the LVAD with my late husband. I can't even imagine him thinking of doing something like that. So how did you handle that?
It was a lot of conflict because like I'm an extremist on certain things, like if dealing with health and dealing with your livelihood to make you safe or different things like that. I'm like a real extremist on, and we had a lot of conflict because I think he thought I was trying to be his mom, but I'm like, you can't do this, you can't do that, and it was challenging because it made it really challenging for me as a caregiver because I was trying to care for him and really following the doctor's orders because when we got the LVAD,
sorry, I missed that. Would you say it again?
When we
please?
had the LVAD, we had we went to a class. They went over the class. I'm sure you went to it, and they talked to us about the steps and the different things we need to do and take towards making sure this be a successful bridge to a transplant because that's what LVAD is. It was a bridge to a transplant, and they knew that he needed a transplant, but this was the immediate fix right now, the LVAD. So when we went to those classes, those were like to me, like you got you got an object in your body, you got bad, you need to like whatever you've been doing, you gotta start straight, like so that's how my mindset was, but
I wasn't accepting it.
He wasn't accepting it. I didn't realize. I knew he was going through it, but I'm always like a positive, really inspirational person. So if you feeling down, I'm always trying to like lift you up. So I kind of like not to feed off into the negative stuff. So I was always trying to uplift him, and it's good in some ways, but at the same time, I might have been neglecting how he was really something was going on inside him that was causing him to do these things. And I think this was the beginning of his depression. He was like a kid rebelling. I said he was going through a midlife crisis or something, but it was like a kid rebelling at that time of of him going through his journey. And I think that was him rebelling or going through depression of not really accepting like wow, like this is really going my life, and so he started doing the opposite, things for his
stuff that I normally don't do. I don't really, not really a heavy drinker, but all of a sudden I started drinking for some reason.
Okay, so it was almost like self-destruction.
Yes, basically like self-destruction.
That's what it was.
Self-destruction.
I take my medication.
Woo! Now, I need the viewers to know that this foreign device that she's talking about is in his body, and inside his body he has a tube coming out of of the side of his side, like in his stomach area, where this tube comes out. This was the most nerve-wracking thing I had ever done. So Jackie and I have both earned our doctorates degree while taking care, of my late husband and her husband. And I'm telling you, it made me, I was so nervous. Yes, I was scared. I had a question, were you scared he didn't? Well, the question was for you, Jackie. Were you scared that he didn't listen? And I know I would have been petrified because I thought, man, if something happened to him, they're going to think I killed him. And definitely.
Tell it. That right there. That's how I felt like. So anytime he did certain things, I would pick up the phone and let his sisters know, like all our close friends that like our prayer warriors that used to be at the hospital with us when he was going through, that would be by our side. I would let them know, hey, he's tripping. He over here. So y'all, if something go wrong,
don't put it on me.
Don't put it on me. He ain't doing what he's supposed to do.
Exactly. So thank you all for just sharing that, because we have to be real, because somebody has a LVAD right now, and someone has a caregiver, whether they are male or female, and we got to understand also that the medicine does something to the mental capacity of the patient as well, and you're in a fight together. We got to make sure that the patient is okay, and then as a caregiver, we have to make sure that we are okay. But we put everything into our families, and it's definitely our husbands. We put everything into them that we lose our own selves. And so if he started to act a little crazy, I would be like, hold up. But let's put a pin right there, because something did happen, but you had the LVAD for 8 years.
Yeah.
Even though you had to get it twice, you had it for 8 years. That's a very long time for some people to have it. Some people have the LVAD for for the duration, and they don't want to endure that 11 or 14-hour procedure again. And I don't know if you all seen how tall Malcolm is, and I just want to. I think I have it somewhere. I thought I did. Okay, so here's one of the pictures.
Yep.
All right. So I want you all to see, and of course they are entrepreneurs as well. And that is this the restaurant that was in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And Missouri. Okay. And so I want you to see right now, Malcolm. You are how tall again?
6'2".
Okay. So still very
Mm-hmm.
tall, and your blood type was. Do you remember your blood type?
Positive.
Which was made him really rare. His blood type, his height, on top of he had, because he went through 2 surgeries. He had his chest open up literally. No, actually 4 times.
4 times. Wow.
He had a 2 weeks, and then he had the aorta root repair. So that was the first time they opened it up. Then he had to get opened up. So he had all, he was really, and then he got caught in the middle of him after he got the LVAD, feeling so good. They really talked about the cleaning. He went without letting me get it cleaning his site, and caught an infection.
Malcolm?
Yes, he caught an infection that really could have messed up him getting a transplant. But
right.
So good.
Woo.
He had to have a PICC line in his arm all this time. But the infection cleared up right when he got a heart, which was amazing.
Woo, Malcolm.
He made him a high risk on finding a heart for him because of the antibodies.
Right. Oh, wow.
Because he had all these different blood transfusions and different things like that.
That would make my antibodies go up. That made my antibodies, antibodies up like 43%.
Okay.
So if I need a heart, I need a high antibodies to match.
Oh, okay. So every time this story gets more interesting and more interesting. But you also were in a coma for 30 days. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, that was in October 3rd of 16.
16, yes.
Yeah, October 3rd all the way to the end of October, I was in a coma.
Yeah, he had a brain bleed and went into a coma, slipped into a coma, and that was really scary because prior to that was the most serious. We had a situation where when he first, before he got the LVAD, he had the congestive heart failure. That was a little tough trial. This was the most serious time we had ever experienced, because most of it was kind of like preventative, or we trying to catch it before it got to the bad. Just hearing other people's stories, he had never had a heart attack or passed out, thank God, or any of those things. So a lot of his care was kind of preventative before it was getting too bad. Caught it just in time, thank God. But this right here, oh man, that was wow. This
particular day, I came in the house. I was going to talk to my daughter. She was down. We had a condo this time, and we were going down these steps. It's like 3 flights of stairs to go into the apartment. And we got down there, and when I got down at the bottom of the stairs, my head just was like trying to come outside of my head.
Ooh, it was pounding. Oh, wow.
And I couldn't do nothing with it. I took off all my clothes, and I told my daughter, at that time, she was about 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah,
that was 3 years ago.
She was 13.
Yeah, and I told her to call an ambulance. No, I told her to call her mom.
Yeah.
I told her to call her mom. Something's wrong.
Yeah, she called me, and I called the ambulance, and I was at a friend's birthday party and we were in Missouri at the time, in St. Charles. So, of course, wherever you at, the ambulance picks up the location. So I'm on the phone with my daughter, coaching her through to get the ambulance because I was calling them and they were picking up from where we were at. I was in St. Charles, Missouri at the time, and I had to like get connected.
I didn't know none of that.
I had to get connected with
I'm just not hearing that. I never knew that.
we were in Creve Coeur, Missouri. We had to get it's a suburb outside of St. Louis. We had to get connected with the ambulance. So I'm on the phone with my daughter and her, and then telling them because if anybody knows, if you dealt with an LVAD patient, you have to tell the ambulance that you got LVAD patient so they can know that what they're dealing with, because if they can't treat an LVAD patient like a regular patient that comes in from the ambulance, because there's certain things that they got to be attentive to like immediately. It's like a life. I mean, anything is a life saving when you call an ambulance, but it's certain measures and certain things that they have to get on top of.
Exactly.
Way it's like life
or death.
Right.
So listen, I know exactly. I sympathize and empathize with that, and I remember the like what you're talking about, what you experienced, because I know when the potassium drops, they drop, and so I will always, be conscious of when I call rescue, I have to let them know that he is an LVAD patient, and you hope and pray. I hope and pray that the EMTs knows about it. I was also fearful if the police came and how would they treat a person, because every time you see a police officer, they're slamming the men down to the ground, and he being a big guy. So my heart will always beat fast thinking about those things because everyone doesn't know about the LVAD. So I totally understand. And so Steve asked a question. He asked, what did you experience while you were in a coma, Malcolm? Do you have any memory?
Yeah. No, when I was in a coma, I don't remember anything. I didn't remember anything. I was asleep. I slept the whole time. I don't remember nothing.
But let me tell you what I remember.
Oh.
Let me tell you. We rushed him down. We got there, and I told them specifically because that makes a difference too on if the hospital you go to, because everybody is not really familiar with the LVAD and the cardiac. You might have some good cardiologists out there, but you got to have a good team that knows what they're doing. This is so serious. So thank God.
Correct.
We needed at that time with the LVAD that the team in Missouri at Barnes Hospital knew what they were doing. And I told them where to go because we were surrounded around other hospitals, but I said, no, we need to go to Barnes Hospital. It was in the city of St. Louis on Keys Highway. So we got there because it was dealing with his brain. They took him into the emergency room. We got past the doors, and the doctor came in. They started running tests on him.
I remember this part.
And they told me
I remember this part. I remember
he had a brain bleed.
I remember he come in there with some kind of drill in his hand. He said, Malcolm, I got a drill in your head right now because I got a drill in your head right now in the lobby, because if I don't, you'll be a vegetable for the rest of your life. And he drilled in my head right there.
Mm-hmm.
And they zopped me out right there in the lobby, and that's the last thing I remember. He stuck a little needle in there and drilled a hole right in my head.
Yeah, but you had went into the coma before he had went in there.
I remember that part.
Went in there, his head, he had slipped into the coma. He wasn't responding, and I just immediately I just started praying. That's all. I don't know what else to do in that situation, but start praying. I called my prayer warriors, and I was praying. Even the surgery of putting the drill in the head was really, it could have been life or death, because the doctor told me I had to make a life and death decision on my husband at that time, like whether to do it or not. And I had to make a decision quickly. I couldn't be calling like mama, daddy, or calling family to ask, like, sure, I had to make, at that time, I had to make a choice. Right. And that choice, I said, to save his life, go ahead and do it. And I made sure we did it and got it done, because he was like,
thank you for that, baby. Happy birthday.
Yes.
He went in and drilled it, like taking when you go in there, you drilling and you syringing taking blood suction. It was a big old needle that went in his head, and he went through that process. Once he got out of it, he was in intensive care for a while. He did wake up. He had vertigo. So that was another
Have you ever had vertigo before? You heard of vertigo?
I've heard of it. I've never had it, but my
Vertigo
God.
is something you don't want. I don't recommend that for no one.
Oh,
Vertigo,
wow.
I don't recommend that for no one.
But the miracle
So
thing. Oh, sorry. Mm-hmm.
So here's something that's interesting, because while you were having while you were going through that October 3rd, my late husband was getting his LVAD October 3rd and 4th. So
Okay.
we had a hurricane coming down on us, but they still did.
Now you know your husband called her?
Like, dude, well, message me. I think he might have been asking about that. I feel so bad because I'm really not on. I was on Facebook, but Malcolm was on Facebook more than me. I'm on Instagram because I'm really just use Facebook for family and friends, because we travel, be out of town to share information, what's going on with our lives, so everybody can keep up with us. So the family and stuff.
Had that date on there when it was.
It was the 16th. It was 2016. That date you said. So he had a question, and I feel so bad that I didn't even respond. Like,
that is so amazing. When I saw that you all were friends, I was like, what? They already friends? I had no clue, but the connection was the LVAD. So that is crazy. Okay, so I want to make sure, because one of the things you specified to me was that you definitely wanted to do this. You wanted to be able to heal your marriage. And you did touch on your depression. And once you find out you had all these illnesses, you did something that I believe you regret, doing to your family. And so I just want you to share that information.
Now this is the hardest part for me right here. This area right here, when I decided, I actually left my wife. Some people think that she went off and left me, but that's not the case. I left her. I chose to leave her because I wanted to go pursue a heart. And I should have did it a whole different way. I should have get her involved with me, and we all went to get the heart together. But at that time, I thought I was going to die, and I thought that I want her to start her life now and get herself going whichever way she's going to go with her life. You know what I mean? I didn't want her to be sitting around with me, feeling all sad and sorrow and waiting on me to die. I just wanted her to go ahead and start her life off and, get going to what she was going after. That was my thinking at the time, but I was totally wrong. Totally wrong. And some of the biggest things since I got the heart, the biggest part that I'm dealing with right now is my daughter. I'm dealing with my wife too. She hurt too. But my daughter is really, I thought I was helping her. I thought I was actually, because they were arguing back and forth about coming to the hospital, coming here, coming there. So I thought I was helping her. But actually, it was really the worst thing I could have done for my daughter. My daughter took it like I was leaving her. Like I was leaving her. That's how my daughter took it. And that was not the case. But I got to heal from, not only my wife got to heal, now I got to heal my youngest daughter, 16 years old. And she is reacting, and she's reacting a lot of ways. She needs some attention.
Yeah. Because she figured out why we couldn't all just came there, and she because she's been on top of when he left. When he left, we stayed in St. Louis for a while, and then my dad had passed, and I went just to.
There's so much going on.
I went to to Atlanta. Because we had closed the stores, and we, so I was just trying to start fresh and trying to get them on a new start. And my son, I helped our youngest son, he's 21. He, trying to get him into school and get.
I didn't think about all these things.
St. Louis is really high in crime, so I'm just trying to, do things to try to save the family on that.
So the biggest thing I want you to realize that when you're thinking about you're leaving, and you're allowing your wife to move on, and you're allowing your kids to move on, you gotta really think about, do they really want to move on? You gotta really think about, is this something that they really, really want? I don't think they want it. I think they want you to be there. I think they want you to be part of it. Whatever the problem want to be, they want to be part of that.
So did you even ask her or you just made that decision for her. You didn't even ask her.
No, he didn't ask, and that was the devastating part because he came
absolutely.
out. He couldn't really walk, and then he just
had his vertigo for a whole year,
and then he just left, and that was devastating for me because, and then I thought, well, okay, he just got mad or something, he leaving, and he's gonna be back. Then it went 2 weeks went by, then 3 weeks. I started counting down. Then a month went by, then 2 or 3 months. Then to the point where I'm like, oh, he ain't coming back.
See, what happened was when I had the brain bleed, they take you off the transplant list.
Right.
Okay. You got to be able that you can carry heart. So I had to wait almost 9 to 10 months to get back on the list. So in the 9 to 10 months, I'm going to heal myself and wait it out to get back on the list. Once I get back on the list, I can come down here where I'm at now. I'm on Nebraska. They already told me, if you're on the list, get on the list, and then come on down. We'll take care of you.
Okay. And you were willing to do that. You were willing to do that solo without her. You had an LVAD.
In my mind, I thought that I wasn't going to make it.
Wow.
Did everything. I mean, I'm thinking that I don't think I'm going to make it. I really don't think I'm going to make it, but I'm going to give it a hell of a try. I'm going to give it all I got. I ain't going to, I ain't going to quit, but I'm going through the process of getting to where I need to be at.
Well, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think she was going to make it without you?
Well,
because she's worried about you. She's been taking care of you, the LVAD. She's watched everything that you've done. But I understand because he tried to give me a way out too. He said, no, this going to be too much for you. Go. So it's so interesting how you all thought, it's interesting. Yeah. But again, this is what you're dealing with in your life. There's a lot going on in there to consider, all the medicine, the LVAD opening the chest and everything that you had to endure, and you chose to, walk away. But look at God and how he is restoring your family, little by little, day by day, because it didn't happen. Restoration won't happen overnight because that didn't happen overnight.
Right.
So what, I commend you right now for letting these viewers into your heart, into your life, and sharing your story, because somebody else right now might be having those same thoughts.
Yes,
they probably thinking the same thing. And thank you for just being so transparent, because 8 years you waited for, you got the LVAD, you waited for the heart, and and you all weren't together when you got the call that you're going to receive the heart. Can y'all share that story, please?
Go ahead. Yeah, I was on the phone with her, but
we were on the phone every time something. It was amazing. It was really God, I said, because every time a situation would occur with Malcolm, even before the transplant, he had he didn't had a total of 4 strokes. And
after the coma,
and every time it was God, we would be on the phone with him and was able to call for help for him. But I
always called her, no matter what was going on. No matter where I was at, no matter who else I was at, I still called her and said, hey, something's going on. I can't stop shaking. I can't do this. Can't walk, can't stand up. I always call her no matter what.
I would call the ambulance right away and be telling me, get him to the hospital right now. but it wasn't funny. But this, I'll never forget the call, because we were on the phone. We were coming back from St. Louis, and he had just been saying, come see. We had seen him for Father's Day. At this time, we were in Birmingham living, me and my daughter. We came to see him and spent time with him for Father's Day. And then we had to go back through St. Louis. So we were in St. Louis and we stayed there probably another week. And then we were a week, and then we were leaving out to go back to Birmingham. And the plan was, okay, we'll go back to Birmingham, check on our house, do little things we need to do. And then, come back the end of the month of July to spend time with her dad before she started school. Well, we were on the highway talking to him, and we were really in
Well,
Alabama.
wait 1 second. Before that, I had asked her, Jackie, if they call me with a heart, are you gonna come and be with me? And she said no. So I'm thinking she's not coming. So now you can go your call, but I get the call. So we on the phone.
Yeah, we're on the phone.
Yeah.
I done made it to Alabama. We in Alabama. And we talking, and he said he hung up the phone. He was like, "Hey, I got a call coming in." He hung up real fast, and I'm like, and then he called me right back. He said, "I got a call." I said, "What?" They just called me for a heart. I'm like, "Oh, praise God!" We just started crying, and I'm driving, going in circles, telling everybody, knowing I shouldn't have been driving and talking. I was texting all the family, and we was crying and all that stuff. And we got to the house, and we were on the phone with them because they were still going back and forth. They called him, he got in there, and then they was like, "Well, we don't know if he got the heart." We had went through that emotional roller coaster as well. But once we even got to the hospital, they was like, "Well, we thought it was the right match, but no, it's not because it's antibodies." So that was an emotional roller coaster that we had to go through it, just praying. And then I said, "Okay." He said he going. So I believe they were waiting on me like to actually do the surgery. So because he didn't go in that night, he went in the next morning. And me and my girl, we laid down for a few hours, and we got on the highway. We drove 13 hours so I can get to Malcolm.
That's
then when she got here, this pandemic thing was going on.
Right, because this just happened 3 months ago.
Yeah, so when she couldn't even come in the hospital to see me.
Yeah, I couldn't see him or anything. So I was talking to the doctors from
this pandemic thing is just turned everything around.
Yeah, that was really tough. And I don't know now how it is, but just to advise the people in the medical and the board, and I even sent some letters to them like, you at least need one loved one with that person. To me, I think that's important, even if you have them come every other day or something like that, because they know what's going on with that person. A lot of these nurses, and I love the nurses, but some of them are in there's some students, and young, they don't really, patient care is different, nowadays. Right. With a lot of these younger nurses. And so to be in tune with that person, to have another loved one know like, hey, they need this, they need that, I think that's major. But yeah, we got I was able to get in on some of the classes I had to take for the plant to make sure we had to take care of.
I ended up being in the hospital 21 days. Yes. From the 11th to the 31st. So there's 21 days. Yep, 21 days. But
prior to that, he wasn't gonna get. It's just amazing. God just started really moving because I was coming just to be by his side, but on top of that, we had Dr. Which I never had the surgeon. It's always been the coordinator or somebody, the in-between person. But I actually talked to the doctor, and he was really concerned, which is when they first put you on the list, they do ask you these questions. But he was re-asking these questions on like making sure Malcolm had a safe place to live, because Malcolm had been living in an RV.
Yeah, and I lived in an RV for 3 years right here on UMC campus, right on the parking lot right here.
Wow.
Yeah, I lived 3 years right there in an RV right there, and there wasn't no problem when they knew I was coming from the RV, but it wasn't no issue. They never said nothing the whole 3 years.
Okay.
But the night of the transplant, he calls her up and he tells her that I can't get a transplant if I'm got to go back to the RV.
And wife to the rescue. Put on your superwoman cape.
Yeah. So what did she come in there and tell me? What did you go in there and tell the man?
I told him you had a place, and we didn't have a place at the time. So he's gonna have a place. He's not going back to. I'm gonna make sure he's not going back. And I didn't know, how we was going. We didn't have a place, but God, I'm a faith believer. But God made a way. In 2 weeks, found the place, and it was a blessing. Even after he didn't have no furniture or nothing. Like, it was a blessing. Like the community had reached out and sold into our lives and blessed us with, we got blessed with furniture and different things that we needed. So when Malcolm came home, he came home to a house, a full furniture house. So it was a blessing. Like people came just from all over the community giving back, and it was such a great thing, because that's pretty much all me and Malcolm have been doing. We would, when even through the LVAD, we would go to the hospital and talk to other people before they were LVAD patients to, talk to
even
them.
during my depression.
Even during depression, we were still doing that. Even during our trials, even doing the stuff I was going through, we did the donor awareness all the time, and used our restaurants as a platform to sign people up, because as we talked about on the previous show, which I admire your show because it's needed, because a lot of people in our community don't know, and they feel like that if they sign up, like we were talking about before, they're gonna be automatically killed. They're not gonna save their life. They're gonna take their organs, and those are false myths. But I didn't know until I got involved with Malcolm and his care and going through the process. And so I really, truly, all that's needed and believe. So I praise for what you're doing to get, sharing your message and continue to get people to sign up and become donors, because a lot of us don't know, and it's really needed it's worldwide, but definitely in the African American community is major,
Absolutely.
We wait the longest. I'm going to tell you. I mean, absolutely. You get that wait 2 and 3 weeks. I'm, very happy for you guys, but we, on average, we wait the longest.
Right. Wait the longest. Especially because of your blood type. Because of your blood type, because of your height, all of those things are, just so amazing. And I'm still in awe right now that Leonard Wayne actually reached out to you to have that conversation.
That was amazing.
It is so amazing.
I'm like, oh my goodness.
And so that would be little things that he wouldn't say. He did tell me he was in that room and he needed to talk to the men about what was going on and how that was going to happen. But I didn't know everybody that he was talking to. And I know we really didn't have the time to really talk about the insurance and the medicine, the Obamacare, which we use the same thing for him. Shout out to Mincy Pollock for being the person over the Obamacare here in Jacksonville. So we were able to get insurance for him. Had it not been for him, that would have been a very rough journey as well. So between the insurance and all the medications, Malcolm, I know you on your best behavior, because
I haven't been through so much. I ain't going through it again. We're not going to mess that up. His heart and make sure. Right now, I'm doing marvelous. I'm actually marvelous. I mean, marvelous all across the board, marvelous.
Yeah, he's been doing.
I don't have none of that issues that people have. None of that. I don't have nothing. I've been blessed so far.
Yeah. Amen. And so we want to keep you blessed. My prayer is that you all, have no rejection. That would be my prayer.
None.
That, because we definitely don't want that. And I absolutely love this picture. You say a man's greatest weapon is a strong woman. And my God, do you have a strong woman, by your side, no matter what you did. And she probably just said, I ain't worried about him. I'm gonna still be there anyway, because most women would have turned away. Some women walked away from their husbands before they even had whatever kind of transplant, that they were, to receive. So I thank you all so much for sharing. Clearly, we're gonna have to do a part 3. Maybe I need to do something with men that have had, the transplant, and then have one with the women, because our voices, definitely need to be heard, because there's another woman that is probably enduring, what you endured, Jackie, or, I don't really think I had it bad. Unfortunately, he just passed away, but he knew to listen, and I was the water Nazi. So I know he could drink a lot of stuff, but when I tell you, I appreciate you all so much. And my mom had vertigo. She She just told me that. Like I heard of it before, but my mom just shared with me that, that hey, she had vertigo. And I think I remember that, but I thought it was gone. So so I understand. So I really do pray for y'all. I'm so grateful again that you all came on here and just, most people don't even want their shade pulled up, but you pulled that shade all the way up and you played us, your life story. You played us your movie.
I look at it like a healing process. We're trying to heal. We're trying to come together, and I'm using all these courses to help us build better.
Yes, yes, and communication.
Some things we can't talk about, and some things we got to talk about so we can heal better.
Right.
You got to be able to heal. You got to be able to heal.
Listen, I know.
I did some things that hurt her. I mean, she really
So counseling
and all that, but actually she's hurt. And I know that.
Right.
I know that.
And you're gonna do everything in your power to make it up to her. So I'm so glad that you know that she's deserving of all of that. And I'll be coming for the grand opening of the new restaurant. And y'all just let me know when. And let me make sure I have my mama come with me because her name is Gwen and she's she the O. And I say, Gwen, let's go. She the G and O. She'll go.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure she wouldn't mind coming to Nebraska with me. So I'm so grateful again for you all. Thank you all so much for being a part of Transplant Talk. And Jackie, you let me know if he get out of line now, because then I got your back. I got your back. Us women gotta stick together. Us women gotta stick together. And thank y'all so much for watching. I'm just so grateful that this was a part that we've met. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for you all reaching out to me, and then not even knowing I was Leonard's wife when he reached out. I'm blown.
Wow.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe. So thank you all. Thank you. I'm going to say goodbye to my guests. You all hold on for 1 minute. All right. So thank you all. Thank you, guests, for being a part of the show tonight. Thank you, Steve and Lisa and everyone that's watching. And what great questions you all have for them, Steve. Again, I'm just in awe. I gotta go because my heart is really full that this lovely couple just took the time to share with me. So I'm grateful. And tune in next week where I'll have, more guests, as long as there are 113,000 people in this country needing a transplant talk with Nyshonda will be here. And if you all could all be organ donors, living donors, or just register again to become an organ donor, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you all again. God bless you. Tune in next week and don't just meet me there. Beat me there. Become an organ donor. Share life. Share love. Have a good evening. Thanks, Steve. I'm telling you, I'm overwhelmed, Steve.